Hey, this is Anna Bevan Gravely with NCFREE, North Carolina Free Enterprise Foundation, and I am joined by Representative Kevin Corbin, who's running for Senate 50. Representative, would you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, thank you, Anna. Appreciate you having me today and appreciate your organization very much. So I come from a local government background. I was several terms on the local school board, and then I was a county commissioner and chaired the county commission for 5 of the 6 years I was there. And then I ran for the state house, served 2 terms there, and now I'm a candidate for the state senate on the retirement of Senator Jim Davis.
Thank you. We've got a couple of questions for you. The first one being, have you ever owned a business or been in a management position within a business? If so, please describe the business and the role in its operation you had.
Okay, great question. I have not earned a paycheck from a business that I haven't owned since I was like 16 or 17 working for the local newspaper. So yes, I'm a business owner. You see my shirt, it says
Yeah.
agency. So my office is behind me, around me here. We own Corbin Insurance Agency in Franklin, which is in the far western part of the state. And then also I own an agency in South Carolina in upstate near Seneca, Clemson area, Blue Ridge Insurance Group. So I have 2 insurance agencies that I own and manage both of those. Got folks that work for me in both locations. So yeah, I know what it's like to make a payroll and have families dependent on the fact that my business is successful so I can pay them.
Would you say the current level of federal and state taxation on businesses is too high, too low, just about right? And why do you think that?
I'm kind of a low tax, low regulation guy. So I would always probably say that taxes should be lower, but we have lowered taxes. As you know, all 3 years I've been in the General Assembly, we've dropped the corporate tax rate, we've dropped the individual income tax rate all 3 years. So the individual rate was around 7%. It's now 5.25%. The business or the corporate tax rate was about 6%. It's now 2.5%. And what we've seen, even though critics of those of us who wanted to lower those tax rates said we were going to bankrupt the state, we weren't going to be able to pay our bills by lowering the tax rate, what's happened is actually we have a surplus. And this year we wound up with a $900 million surplus, which, thank goodness, because we've had crises happen in the last months between coronavirus and between hurricanes. It's been good to have a surplus. But yeah, I'm pleased with the fact that we've lowered taxes federally and in the state of North Carolina. I really would like to see, this is my personal view, I really would like to see the personal income tax rate dropped even more, maybe even to 0. But
I'm sure everyone listening also would love that.
Yeah. But the thing is, we've proven as we've lowered that rate, the state takes in more money. And you say, well, how can you possibly do that if you're lowering the rate? Well, you're allowing folks to keep more of their own money. They spend more of their own money. They invest their own money. They're paying sales tax, which the state benefits the sales tax. So, yeah, I'm a proponent, certainly a proponent of lower taxes, both corporately and individually.
So you mentioned a revenue or a surplus. Is that a revenue surplus or a budget surplus or both?
It's a revenue surplus. So a surplus is you take in more money than you spend. And that's a good thing, whether it's Anna's household, Kevin's household, the state of North Carolina. So we budgeted last year a little over $24 billion. And so the state took in about $900 million more than that budget. So it was a budget surplus. And I think we're projecting about a $300 million surplus for this next year. So that's been a good thing. I mean, you ideally in budgeting, you want to budget pretty much exactly what you're going to bring in, and maybe budget a little bit less than you think you're going to bring in. And that certainly has been the case for the last couple of years.
Right, right. Third question. Do you feel it is appropriate for state or local government to offer incentives to private businesses in consideration of locating, expanding, or conducting business in a specific location within the state? Why or why not?
Yeah, that's a great question. And actually, I'll answer that in a couple different ways. I've got mixed emotions a little bit about that,
Mm-hmm.
because I've got a little bit of an issue of spending government money directly to help private business. I'm kind of a free enterprise guy.
Mm-hmm.
Same time, if government can do things that helps business and create a level playing field for that business. Let me give you an example. Before I was in the legislature, Governor McCrory appointed me to the Rural Infrastructure Authority, which is under the Department of Commerce. So what that group does is take several million dollars a year and provide things like building reuse grants. So in other words, if you wanted to buy a building, say in Cary, and this building was currently unoccupied, and you're going to retrofit that building, and you're going to create jobs, then you could get a grant through the Department of Commerce for up to $25,000 per job. So let's say you're going to create 10 jobs, you could potentially get a $250,000 grant, not a loan, that allows you to help do that work. So I very much believe in that kind of thing when government can partner with, but at the same time not tie the hands of private industry. So I guess I'm answering yes to your question. I think it's okay as long as government is spending that money to help that privately owned business create jobs, then I think it's a worthwhile thing.
Okay. Fourth question. Describe your personal opinion as to what the key principles of free enterprise in our economic system are. And if you're elected, again, to the Senate, how do you plan to continue that or uphold those principles?
Okay. So I'll go back. I told you a moment ago that before I was in the House, I was a county commissioner. So I worked in local government. So one of the things I did as a county commissioner was ask our county department heads. We literally went through every regulation, and Macon County is my home county. So we went through every regulation from the sign ordinances to, you go down the line to building codes, the whole 9 yards. We went through all of them. And basically, let's look at these, see if they make sense. And if they don't, or if they're too harsh or they're too difficult for business, we're going to get rid of them. So we reduced regulation a lot. We went through, for example, we had a subdivision ordinance that was extremely restrictive, and it was very difficult for contractors to meet those the criteria in the subdivision ordinance. So what it was doing was causing them to spend more money developing a subdivision, which made the land more expensive. It made building costs more expensive. So we changed and we got rid of a lot of the regulation in there. For example, this is a very small thing, but there was a regulation, I don't remember the feet, but it was like an entrance into a subdivision had to be at least 30 feet wide, or I believe it was 25 or 30. Well, and that was supposedly so you can make sure you can get ambulances and fire trucks and things like that in. Well, we talked to our emergency folks, and they said, no, we don't need entrances that wide. 16 feet would be enough. So we did, and we live in the mountains. So to make a 30-foot cut, if you're on an incline like this and you're making a 30-foot cut, you're having to take a chunk out of the side of that mountain.
Yeah.
It's very expensive to do. So we reduced that, we changed it. So with that said, I think I'm really just kind of a free enterprise guy. Let the market will take care of it. Let's don't have regulations that protect me from me. I get it when we have laws that protect me from you, or you from me. I get that. Those are needed and should be there. But when they start protecting me from me, start telling me the best thing to do for me, then I think it's gone too far. And yeah, I think the market takes care of most of those things. If I'm not doing a good job and I'm not producing a good quality product, then folks are not going to buy from me, and that usually takes care of it.
Yeah, I think that's a really great lens. Me from me versus me from you. I think it really simplifies it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So next question, and this is sort of timely with what we're discussing in terms of, or living in right now, in doing this video. We're living within COVID-19, and I don't know how long we're going to be living with this, but it feels like it's going to be a little longer than we all think it's going to be. But in your opinion, what is the appropriate balance in the scope of federal and state regulatory requirements on business? What, in your opinion, is the best way to balance appropriate protections without impugning economic vitality?
Yeah, well, good question. I think I've kind of already answered that with my last one. If I really have no problem with regulation that protect me from you, or from me from each other, from us doing things to each other that are harmful. But when we start going beyond that, I think we're cutting into letting business take care of itself. I really do believe in the free market. As I said before, I'm in the insurance business, and there's regulations that keep me from doing things that are dishonest. There are things that are wrong, and telling you that you have coverage you don't have, and I get that. But beyond that, it's up to me to do a good job in my business and marketing in such a way that's fair and honest, and the public, has a right to recognize that and do business with me or not. And so when government steps beyond that, I think we've gone too far. So really, I go back to what I said a moment ago. I really think that the free enterprise does take care of that to a large extent. So that answers.
Yeah, absolutely. And last question, if elected to go from the House to the Senate, what are your top 3 priorities?
Okay, so I probably would have to go back to what we discussed a minute ago. I think keeping taxes low is a real important thing for the state of North Carolina as we move forward. And I mean state and corporate and individual taxes is very important to keep those low. I think less regulation. I do believe in laws. I think we're a country of laws, and we're men and women governed by laws. But the more or less, I think the less regulation, the better when it comes to our businesses. And then third, I guess, just kind of let the free market roll as much as possible. Let's allow folks ease of getting into business. Let's regulate people and tax them to the point that they can't do business. Let's let them get into business and be successful. And because of that, they're going to pay their fair share of taxes. And I think we're going to continue to be successful as a state. In the last 8 or 10 years, North Carolina has gone from being about the 44th worst state as far as taxation to now one of the best states, recognized by the national tax groups that rate those kind of things. So I think we're heading in the right direction. I think we just need to continue in that, and I'm going to do my part to make sure we do.
Yeah, we're definitely topping a lot of charts. Forbes, Site Selection Magazine, the Tax Foundation, I think, is one of the ones that you referenced.
Yes, the Tax Foundation. I couldn't remember who that was, but they ranked North Carolina. I know we're in the top 10. Exactly where we are, but I think we were 44th about 6 or 8 years ago.
Yeah, not too long ago in this grand scheme of legislator life, if you think about it. But yeah, thank you so much for this time, Representative Corbin, and spending it with me and NCFREE and our community. If people want to learn more about you, where can they find out more?
I've got a website, and it's just kevincorbin.com. And that's my I guess my campaign website that also has information about me and where I stand on a number of issues, including the ones we talked about today. So kevincorbin.com, or you can always call my office in Raleigh, 919-733-5859.
Awesome. Thank you so much, and good luck and stay safe.
Thank you, Ann, and appreciate you interviewing me, and have a great day.